Hey, I had a thought today that I wanted to discuss for a few minutes, and it's why is return to office or return to office mandates so polarizing? It was something that I was kind of thinking about this morning and wanted to give some thoughts because it can be quite heated, the debate between different people on this subject, and I kind of was wondering why and wanted to share some of my thoughts and we'll get some of your thoughts too. If you've got any comments, thoughts, or opinions, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to know what people think about this. But I think one of the challenges with return to office is it kind of fundamentally gets at how we think about work. It can feel really dumb, for lack of a better word, if you are an intelligent, skilled person and someone essentially tells you to use your time in a way that doesn't make sense to you. You know, for a lot of people I found that disagree with return to office, they just don't find the value or they don't think there's value in working together every day in person. I have found a lot of people do like being around people and get value in that, but when they're asked to on some mandated schedule, like 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 1 time a week come in, it really does start to rub them the wrong way. And I think because it's kind of like they feel like someone owns their time, right? You're taking away that autonomy for them to choose how to get the most value out of their time. You're saying instead of do what's best for you and for the company, I'm going to tell you what's best. You need to come in this many times a day, whether or not it's valuable. And that's really hard. But why it gets so much into why people care about it or why it hits so hard to like people's culture is some people really do believe that, right? People get in the office, they get a lot more value out of it. They find that things are moving faster, they're more innovative. You hear this all the time, like we're bringing people back to spend time together, to build trust, to innovate more. And if you believe that and someone comes to you and says, hey, we need to come into the office more to get all these benefits, you're going to believe them, you're probably going to be on board, and you're going to be excited about it. But if you're someone that doesn't believe those things or doesn't find them in your experience to be true, it's going to really sting because essentially someone's telling you how to use your time in a way that doesn't make sense to you. And that's hard. Like, I think that's hard for anybody. So I really think that return to office is more about the culture you want to have. And it's really polarizing because if you don't want that culture, you're not going to feel like it's working for you. And so a lot of the advice I give to people is if that's really important to you and the current place in which you're working doesn't believe the same way you do about how to do work and how to get work done, it's best to try to figure out a different place of work or maybe work with your company on a different way of working, because otherwise it will just feel really crazy, right? It's going to feel like people are telling you to do things that don't make any sense to you. And that doesn't mean anyone's right or wrong in this debate. Like, just to be clear, it just depends more on what you think is true and more on what the situation brings to bear for the company. I do believe that companies that have been working in person for decades and decades probably will get more work done in person. They built their offices, their culture, their systems around in person for many, many, many years. And a few years of not doing that doesn't necessarily make them more effective. But I also believe that some companies that have always been remote and really focused on that as part of their culture and hired people into that environment and worked hard to make that work can also get really great benefits. So for me, it's not which one is better, it's which culture do you want to be a part of. And I think that's why it's so polarizing. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments or if you agree and disagree. Thanks.